What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Oskino down here. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Run these likes up and drop some comments below because I'd love to hear from y'all. So we're gonna get right into it. Tupac did not like Reggie Wright Jr. So I already know people can be like, well, how did you know that? Were you around? Did you ever hear Tupac say that? Nah, I did not hear Tupac say the words specifically, yo, I don't like Reggie Wright Jr. But you know what Tupac was very vocal about and about not liking? Tupac, you could say damn near hated crooked police. Yeah, that's right, crooked police. Tupac and anybody that was close to Tupac will tell you that he respected the police officers who did the job by the book and didn't harass people or overstep the law and go above and beyond to do illegal things and arrest people for the same things that they were doing illegally. Tupac hated, you could say it, Tupac hated crooked cops, dirty police, said so in so many songs. So this is why I say Tupac did not like Reggie Wright Jr. And Tupac, very aware of all the situations around him regarding with certain staff, security, things of that nature, he knew exactly what was going on. And is exactly why he fired Reggie Wright Jr. Yes, he did. Reggie Wright says it himself. But here's another reason why I don't like Reggie Wright Jr. Not for the fact that this man is a dirty, crooked, former law enforcement officer, but everybody knows, even if you're not from Los Angeles, the stories about the crooked police over there and how they got their hands into drug trafficking and things of that nature, but then still lock people up while being involved for those same illegal activities, but can get away with it because they got a badge. Yet, Reggie Wright Jr.'s out here making video after video after video off of Tupac's name, and to my knowledge, not giving Tupac's family a dime off of the money that he makes with his monetized content. Let's be very clear. Tupac would not appreciate this at all. And as a real Pac fan, like I said, yeah, Reggie Wright had told some stories that I never heard about. Tupac, cool. Drop his family some money, homie. For real. Because I mean, like I said, Pac would not like this at all. He would not approve of it at all. I can guarantee that. And I never even met the man. But I studied enough of Tupac to know that he would definitely not appreciate people making money off of his name, particularly people that he did not like, which is you, Reggie Wright Jr., a former law enforcement officer who got indicted for illegal activity. And not just illegal activity. I'm going to bring up the source of this illegal activity that you was indicted on. Bunch of fraud vultures out here making money off of Tupac's name, and Tupac ain't like you. Did not like you at all. I just know by the type of individual you are, homie. So let's take a look at this article and see what you was indicted for and locked up for. I don't know what you were charged with, but you did go to prison for doing some illegal things, and you're a former law enforcement officer. Which also brings up the point, before I get into the article, about you, Reggie Wright Jr. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Saying that, these quote-unquote Tupac fans who are saying that the police had something to do with Tupac getting unalived in Las Vegas is like far-fetched. How, homie? Yeah, listen, I know that Blue Lives Matter is still a thing, and it been a thing before that term came about. So, still somehow, some way, you're going to want to try to protect, other law enforcement agencies and stuff, because I know exactly how powerful they are. Why do I know how powerful they are? I have my history with them, and I could just quote Tupac. I had a correctional officer tell me, yo, straight up, we the biggest gang in New York State. You think that's only what do you call it? You think that is only subjected to just New York State? Police is worldwide. And there's many different law enforcement agencies too, by the way, that have a lot of power that most people who are oblivious to it, oh, they would never do that. Come on, man. Like, you ain't dealing with no regular person here. I'm very well informed of how powerful law enforcement is, particularly in the United States. And particularly if they want to cover something up. Yeah, they know how to do that real well. So yeah, I do believe that there was some law enforcement activity involved with the unaliving of Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas. But you can keep trying to dissuade people that, oh man, that's a nut crack conspiracy, whatever the terminology is, to try to downplay any law enforcement being involved with Tupac. We know exactly how dirty law enforcement can be. Not saying all of them are, because there are some police officers out there who actually do the job and really do serve the community. But you definitely ain't one of them. Now let's take a look at this article right here. Former LA Sheriff's lieutenant and son federally indicted for reported participation in LA to Memphis drug pipeline. So this is the witnessla.com article written by Celeste Freeman. So just want to give credit where I'm getting my information from. This says last week, 22 alleged members and associate of 2 street gangs. So not only are you tied in with illegal activity when it comes to drugs, but you're also connected to gangs, which makes you look more guilty and your whole law enforcement crew of being involved with what happened to Tupac. And now I'm not going to let this ride. This is public information, so ain't no defamation of character. You were indicted and you did serve time in prison for illegal drug activity as a former law enforcement person, which I think if you had any time as a law enforcement person and you do stuff like that, you should be penalized even more, because you're supposed to be the people that the public trusts. But yeah, why would I trust a word that you say? A lot of stuff that you're saying in your podcast too is actually lies as well. People are funny. They tell some truths, but then want to paint themselves in a better light. They say that's human. That's a typical human behavior, but nah, that ain't a real behavior. And everything about you is far from real. But yeah, so last week, 22 alleged members and associate of 2 street gangs, Reggie Wright Jr. being associated and indicted with 2 street gangs, but he wants you to think that police had no involvement with the unaliving of Tupac. The Los Angeles-based Grape Street Crips. Oh, Crips. So you was involved with Crips, Now I know there's many different gangs of Crips all throughout California and Los Angeles particularly. You know what I'm saying? But that's still a rival gang of what Suge Knight's gang was, which is MOB Pyru. So let's get into it. It says, in the Memphis-based Peter Roll Mafia were indicted by a federal grand jury for being part of a reported drug and money laundering pipeline that ran between Memphis, Tennessee, and Los Angeles. Oh, and by the way, I believe it's the song Picture Me Rolling, where Tupac kind of mentioned that about death row, very subtly. But if you pay attention and if you're a student of Tupac's, just Tupac in general, like if you actually study and see what Tupac was talking about, he specifically said, no, there's dope being sold, but I ain't the one selling. Don't want to be another number. I got a gang of weed to keep from going under. The Fred rallies want to see me dead, put prices on my head. But yeah, Tupac was just saying that because it sounded good. Nah, he knew exactly what was going on, which is why he did want to separate himself from death row as soon as possible. He might have still been cool with Suge, because maybe Suge didn't know exactly what was going on with the whole law enforcement stuff, like you, Reggie Wright Jr. So it says, according to acting U.S. Attorney Lawrence Lorenzi of the Western District of Tennessee, members of the Grape Street Crips supplied heroin, marijuana, methamphetamine, cocaine, and various other pharmaceutical substances to members of the Peter Roll Mafia, who then distributed the drugs throughout much of Tennessee. So look at all this stuff that you caught up in with Reggie Wright Jr., dirty law enforcement officer. You might have not been a police officer at that time, but you still worked in law enforcement. And there's active law enforcement officers who do this right now as I speak. They just ain't get caught yet. Blue lives matter, clown. And it says, news of this newly unsealed indictment would not normally be of great interest to most LA readers. Yet it turns out that 2 of those indicted, Reginald Wright Sr. and Reginald Wright Jr., are former members of the Southern California law enforcement. I wonder how many people you and your father locked up for doing illegal activity that y'all later went on to do yourself. Like I said, man, Pac ain't like you at all, homie. And this is a clear example of why Pac ain't like you and why he got you fired. One of the many reasons. Other reasons that he may have kept close to the chest and ain't want to put it out there like that because we know how powerful dirty police can be. They'll get their own killed in their own department if they ain't with the agenda. Happens all the time. So you can try to fool people who ain't that well informed about how far certain law enforcement officers will go to cover stuff up. So Wright Senior's son, Reginald Wright Jr., has a somewhat more complicated past. Talks about his involvement with being security or head of security at Death Row Records with Suge Knight, and him being and having accusations formed against him about the murders of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. So yeah, I just want to put that out there for y'all, man. I'm not telling y'all to not support this channel. You want to support this channel, cool. But if you're a real Tupac fan, y'all will stop supporting this clown and any other clown out there that not only Pac would not like, but they ain't even breaking his family off with any type of percentage of the money. And if you are, then show it and prove it, and I'll back off. That's all I'm saying. Because if you really love Pac, if you got love for Pac, and all y'all do is make content off of Tupac, then break his family off with some of that money. That's all I'm saying. But you, Reggie Wright Jr., you should not be speaking on Pac at all because Tupac would not like you. I'm going to end it at that. I got a lot more that I'd like to say, but I'm going to leave that for another day. If you like what I had to say, drop in the comments below your thoughts. If not, drop them thoughts too. I don't want to just hear from people that agree with me. I want to know what you think. Run those likes up, please, and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to grow the channel as fast as possible to, hold those accountable that's trying to eat off of Tupac's name and not break his family off with any of that bread. Yeah, and I know Tupac would appreciate this. So rest in peace to Tupac, the GOAT, greatest of all time. One love.